Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Corvette Dan. We're going to discuss something that's been on my mind for many years, and it really doesn't, it's just on my nerves about how people say, oh, well, the C5 is this and that, but the interior, well, it's crappy. Well, first of all, most of those people have never even owned one of these cars. Second of all, I can tell you, the interior on these cars is not that crappy. Let's take a look inside here. And let's see here. Now, you could say what you want about vinyl this and vinyl that, but this car has almost 80,000 miles on it. And it's 23 years old, and it is worn pretty well. Now, obviously, I've done a little upgrades. I've painted this and added these grab handles and painted these. The seats, okay, I admit the seats, the leather is a little thin, but there's a reason for that. I'm going to bring that up as well, so you can see here. But we've bought these for 50 bucks, and it looks nice. It actually makes it kind of nice. We put a cover on here. As you can see, there's a lot of plastic in there. I understand that. Let's get inside here, and you look around. I don't think it's too shabby. I mean, I've heard these seats tend to rock. That fix is cheap. Then again, I weigh about 180 pounds soaking wet, so I don't really have that problem. I've had this car for close to 17 years. There are some issues, I'll admit it. Some of this plastic is kind of cheap. This plastic will get heated up, and I had one crack right here. Sometimes in these center consoles. Let's see if I can open it. You take a look in here, and these bolt holes can sometimes crack. I may not be able to tell. There's a reason for that too. Anyway, I don't think the interior in this car is that bad at all. Okay, we also have these. They call the floppy ears. But overall, I don't think it's such a bad car. Remember, the car's 23 years old. I don't think the interior is that bad. In fact, I think it looks pretty good for a 23-year-old and a 99 considering. Late 90s GM. It also has heads-up display, which is something that still isn't offered on most cars. Go figure. But I'd also like to talk about something. It's direct competitor. You say what you want. The 370Z, the RX-8, they just don't compete at all. No way. Not on a performance standpoint, so we can completely not talk about those. Let's talk about the car that the Corvette does compete with. The Porsche 911. I have here a magazine. In 1996, the last of the C4, the car weighed 3,298 pounds. When the 97 came out, and this one in particular, the C5 is taller. It is longer. From tip to tail, it has a longer wheelbase. Right? It is also wider. But it weighs 3,245 pounds. Yes, that is only a 53-pound weight savings, but considering the car is bigger in every dimension, okay? There's a reason why this car may have some suspect quality interior bits, if you will. They were very set on weight savings. For example, there is no sound or heat insulation in this car whatsoever. So the reason why some of these interior bits get brittle and crack is because of heat. If you ever owned a C5 in the summertime and you stick your hand right down here, it's borderline hot. Same thing with inside this center console, because there's no heat insulation whatsoever. Another thing most people don't realize, this thing does not have an in-cabin air filter. They were really set on weight reduction. That's why the seats also have a thinner leather. There's no question. But let's not overlook the cavernous trunk. All right, excuse the things that are in there, you know, car shows, whatever. But trust me, you could fit a good amount of luggage and a large cooler of beer and soda in this thing. All right. Now going back to the weight of the car. Yes, we know GM listens to its customers. And they were a little concerned about some of the things we just discussed. So, for example, in 2013, the car had grown to 3,355 pounds. That's the 6th generation, despite further weight savings in things such as extensive use at this point of aluminum, magnesium. But the car gained weight. Why? Because the seats were a little thicker leather, in-cabin air filter, you know, yada yada. Improving the interior quality, which has always been the sore point for, you know, these magazines about the Corvette. And by 2019, folks, 2019, the last of the C7, the car grew to 3,560 pounds. So that is why the interior may not be as great as some had hoped. But remember, folks, this is a 1999. This is the best bang for the buck that you could find in a performance car right now. Used C5. You cannot argue with that, folks. This car is capable of 0 to 60 on a good day in 4.67. 13.1 seconds in the quarter mile. Stops on a dime. I don't exactly remember the 60 to 0 figures, but this car compares very favorably to the 99 911 in performance figures. Also compares extremely favorably to the 370Z of the RX-8. Furthermore, I'll take this car in a side-by-side run with your base Mustang GT, your base Camaro SS. I'm not talking about the GT 500. I'm not talking about the, you know, the ZL1 or the 1LE or whatever you're talking about, folks. But this car's an 1899. Mild mods. Mild, folks. And you're talking, those cars aren't even competing. Best car for the buck. The interior is not as bad as people say it is. So give this car some love, the C5, folks. If you like this, please give me a like, a thumbs up. I'd love to hear your comments on this. I'd love to see you subscribe. As always, this is Corvette Dan. Until the next one. Thanks, everyone.